Jose Bordalas is not a household name like Pep Guardiola or Jurgen Klopp. He never played in the Champions League, he never lifted a trophy as a player. Born in Alicante in 1964, Bordalas played as a striker for Hercules CF in the 1980s. But his career was short, interrupted by injuries and marked by modest performances. He wasn't quick, he wasn't prolific, and he never became a star. For most, that would have been the end of the story. For Bordalas, it was the beginning. If he couldn't score goals himself, he would dedicate his life to stopping them. After retiring, Bordalas stepped into coaching, not at glamorous clubs, but in the dusty fields and small stadiums of Spain's lower leagues. He managed Hercules, Novelda, Alcoyano and Alcorcon, among others. These weren't clubs with big budgets or world-class players. They were survival projects. And it was there that Bordalas forged his philosophy: discipline, intensity, sacrifice. Year after year, he built teams that were difficult to beat, teams that fought for every ball, teams that reflected his own resilience. His chance to prove himself on a bigger stage finally came with Alaves. In 2015, he took charge of Alaves in the Spanish second division. In just one season, he led them to promotion. It should have been his debut in La Liga as a manager, but instead, he was dismissed. Despite delivering success, Alaves didn't see him as their long-term future. It was a crucial reminder that football isn't always fair. And yet, that rejection fueled him. Because just months later, Getafe came calling. When Bordalas joined Getafe in 2016, the club was broken, relegated, demoralized and adrift. Within 1 year, he returned them to La Liga. Within 3, he had them competing for Europe. By 2019, Getafe finished 5th in the league, their best result in modern history, and qualified for the Europa League. It was a miracle, but it was also polarizing. Getafe became one of the most hated teams in Spain. Critics called them dirty, disruptive and unwatchable. Supporters called them warriors. And Bordalas didn't care. He had proven that with discipline and grit, a modest club could stare giants in the eye. So, what makes Bordalas' teams so unique? His weapon of choice, the compact 4-4-2. 2 banks of 4 compressed space, the forwards press, not to win the ball immediately, but to block passing lanes. Opponents are forced wide, then the midfield collapses like a trap. And if that doesn't work, his players fall. A lot. At their peak, Getafe averaged nearly 17 fouls per game, among the highest in Europe, and for Bordalas, those fouls weren't mistakes, they were strategy. Every stoppage killed momentum, every tackle frustrated opponents. In possession, his teams played direct, long balls, knockdowns, second balls. Forget elaborate tiki-taka. This was survival football, and it worked. In 2021, he was hired by Valencia. Once a giant of Spanish football, the club had collapsed into dysfunction. Financial crisis, unstable ownership, a fractured squad. Bordalas brought order. He tightened the defense, reignited the fight, and led Valencia to the Copa del Rey final. Against all odds, they pushed Real Betis to penalties, but politics off the pitch proved more powerful than discipline on it. By the end of the season, he was dismissed again. Short-term impact, long-term friction, a pattern that followed him throughout his career. Who is Jose Bordalas? He's not a romantic, he's not an artist, he's a survivor. He represents the other side of football, the gritty, frustrating, uncompromising side. For every critic who calls his football ugly, there's a supporter who remembers that without him, their club might not have survived at all. In a world obsessed with beauty and possession, he proves that there is more than one way to win. He is the anti-hero of Spanish football. As for the in-game tactic, of course I went for the 4-4-2 formation, with the goalkeeper on defend duty in goal. We need the goalkeeper to focus only on his job, nothing else matters for him. In front of him, a wall of 4 defenders makes sure he has nothing to worry about, usually. 2 fullbacks on support, a ball-playing defender on defend, and a central defender on defend. The fullback role was used to mimic Jose Bordalas' structure, and we keep the players on the front foot through the duty used. As player instructions, I asked them to run wide with the ball. The ball-playing defender role was chosen to add a bit of variety in defense and to make sure we recycle the ball possession when possible. In front of them, a wall of 4 midfielders makes sure they have nothing to worry about, usually. 2 wingers, a ball-winning midfielder, and a box-to-box midfielder make up this part of the formation. The winger roles were assigned different duties, to try and disrupt the opposition's shape. The right-sided one is asked to cut inside with the ball, to put further pressure on the opposition's defensive line and add another layer to our attack. The ball-winning midfielder must make sure nothing gets past him easily. If this role sits too far up, or you are too uncomfortable to use it in this formation, you can assign him a defensive midfielder role on defend. This way, he will sit a bit deeper and screen the defense closer to your goal. And the box-to-box midfielder role is the most creative one in our formation. However, he comes in the attack from deep, making sure our third of the field is covered before arriving late in the opposition's area. I asked him to get further forward to make sure he makes those late runs when possible, and the strikers are a pressing forward and an advanced forward on attack duty. This role pairing was chosen to put pressure on the opposition and to utilize the player runs inside their area. The pressing forward is asked to shoot less often to make him focus on his attacking skills more. I chose positivist mentality. In possession, fairly wide attacking width, shorter passing directness, and a slightly higher tempo, and nothing else chosen, as I wanted the team to take their own decisions based on each game moment. In transition, counter-press, counter, and distribute the ball quickly by the goalkeeper. And out of possession, a mid-block and a lower defensive line. I will stop right here. I'm not a fan of the lower defensive line as I feel it invites a lot of shots from the opposition. However, in my save, I had a strong squad, so it was okay to use it. If your squad is not one of the best in your league, I recommend using a standard defensive line. Let's continue. And trigger press is set as more often. As a result, I moved to Borussia Dortmund after a lot of years managing FCSB in Romania. After bringing a few players with me from FCSB, we managed to finish third in the league. It's not glamorous, but the glory came when playing in Europe. We won the Europa League. The Continental Trophy won by playing this tactic proves that football can also be played in a pragmatic way. Domestically, we were runners-up in the DFB Pokal, another good result in my books. We have already established that Jose Bordalas does not play an attractive brand of football. But, at the end of the day, what is attractive and what is not attractive in the world of football tactics? Football is a game judged based on the goals scored, and as long as at the end of the game, the team managed has more goals on the scoreboard than the opponent, that should be enough. Jose Bordalas is not Pep Guardiola or Carlo Ancelotti or Jurgen Klopp, but he is one of the brightest stars in world football at the moment.